So today we're going to be talking about some new additions to the S&P 500, what this means for your investments. We're going to also talk about how rate cuts can influence the market. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. So let's get started. First, let's talk about the importance of the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is considered the best overall benchmark of how the US stock market is doing. It tracks the 500 biggest publicly traded companies in the US. But why does that matter to you? Well, if you're invested into funds like I am, VOO and FXAIX, which track the S&P 500, any change in the index affects your investments. And if you are a trader, which I also am, and you trade the SPY, you'll want to know what's most heavily weighted and what could be driving the index to move in a certain way. So let's talk about the news that we found out at the end of last week. There are two notable new additions, and they are Palantir and Dell. And being deleted are American Airlines and Etsy. So Palantir and Dell joining the S&P is huge, not only for these companies, but also for us as investors. When a company is added to the S&P 500, it often leads to increased demand for its stock as index funds need to buy shares to rebalance their portfolios. So if you're invested into funds like VOO and FXAIX, this could bring some positive movement to your portfolio. But keep in mind that this type of movement could be just a short-term thing. If you're holding an ETF or mutual fund like these, as I said, the addition of these new companies could lead to an adjustment and rebalance of your portfolio. But these changes are usually positive because a company that's being added to the S&P 500 is an industry leader and meeting the criteria in order to be included. So one of the reasons that I love these type of funds is that it gives you diversification. By investing into these type of funds, you're spreading your risk across multiple sectors and companies, which is crucial when it comes to striving for long-term success. So as I was saying, in order to be included into the S&P 500, you have to meet certain criteria, including having a market cap of at least $14.5 billion, being based in the US, and having at least 50% of your shares available for public trading. So now let's talk about rate cuts. Will they cause the market to rally? So the Federal Reserve has been hinting at future rate cuts, and many investors have been wondering, will this cause the market to go up? Historically, when rates are cut, borrowing becomes cheaper, which can boost corporate profits and lead to stock market gains. However, it is important to note that rate cuts aren't a magic bullet. While they can create a more favorable environment, they're often a response to a broader market issue. So while it might be positive in the short term, we still have to keep our eye on the big picture. So how are we going to go about positioning our portfolio during this market volatility? So right now we are in the month of September, which has been the month with the biggest decline when it comes to the stock market. But I don't want you to make one of the biggest mistakes that investors often make during times of a market downturn, and that is overreacting when it comes to market volatility. Whether it's due to rate cuts, company shakeups, political issues, and events, it's easy to feel nervous. But remember, you're in this for the long haul. If you have a solid, diversified portfolio built upon a strong foundation of ETFs, for example, like the ones I've mentioned, VOO or FXAIX, you're already in a good position. The key is consistency. Don't let short-term market fluctuations scare you into making impulsive decisions and selling good quality investments that you've made for yourself. Another few things that I want to share about investing into the S&P 500. It is basically a bet on America, the 500 largest companies in the US. So with that, you get all the things that I've been mentioning, the diversification. You don't have the struggle and worry about the impact that a CEO's behavior or sales or bad earnings can have on one individual company because you're investing into 500. So basically, if a few companies are having those type of issues, you're not going to feel it as directly in your portfolio. So right now we're seeing headlines that the S&P 500 is having its worst week. We're going to see those headlines, and in the future we'll be seeing headlines that the S&P has hit all-time highs over and over again. So the market has ups and downs, and I'm going to stay consistent and be investing more heavily when it comes to the market downturn because I know I'm betting on the whole US economy and it will in time recover from the market downturn, which we'll be facing over the next couple of months. So let's take a look at VOO's performance over the last 5 years. We can see here it's up 82.33% over the last 5 years. Over the last year, it's up 22.38%. Year to date, up 16.2%. Over the last 6 months, over 7.3%. So just wanted to share that and take a quick look just to show you that over time, these type of funds just continually build and grow and keep your investments going in the right direction, as well as paying out a quarterly dividend, which I am currently reinvesting in order to give myself an extra boost along with the compound interest to build up my positions. So I'm definitely looking at this time of market volatility, a downturn, a pullback, whatever you want to call it, as an opportunity to stay focused and be on track and working harder to get towards my financial goals. So I'm not here to rush the process. I trust the process and I'm just going to keep moving forward. So I'll be keeping my eyes open on the results of the CPI and PPI data when they come out, because these are things that also impact the market. Of course, as well as the debate between Harris and Trump. Political events often create short-term volatility when it comes to the market. But again, this is where long-term thinking comes into play. Don't let daily news shake you out of your investment plan and strategy. If anything, continue doing your research and have cash on hand to allocate more to your long-term investments during this time frame. And if you're not investing already or have some catching up to do, right now might be the best time to start. During a market downturn, when the stocks are at a low point, essentially, the stock market is on sale. People get scared during times like this, but it can actually be the best time to start building your portfolio. I have a long-term vision and perspective, and I know that I am still in the place where I am building up my portfolios. So I see times like this as an opportunity to continue building and growing because, as they say, recessions make millionaires. Those that have the knowledge as well as the funds are taking advantage and making sure to allocate more to investing when they can get in and accumulate more into their investment portfolio at pennies on the dollar. So remember, you are in charge of your portfolio. Block out all of the media and the things around you that may be discouraging you from taking advantage of these opportunities. Stay informed, trust your long-term plan. I'll be staying consistent, patient, and focusing on my long-term goals. So that's it for today's video. Whether it's new additions to the S&P 500, rate cuts, or so many other things that can impact the stock market, let's continue to stay informed and ahead of the game. And most importantly, don't let this time of a market downturn cause you to sell good, sound investments that you've added to your long-term portfolios. Do the research upfront and know the difference between, is this a trade or is this an investment? I'm going to be holding my investments throughout this time. So make sure to drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts about Palantir being added to the index and Dell, which was previously in it, being reinstated. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out my referral links. They'll be in the description and pinned in the comments. And also consider becoming a channel member. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.